Welcome to the Week 13 Honest NFL Power Rankings. I am the greatest power ranker on earth, Brandon Perna. And for anyone doubting the curse wheel, oh God, Jesus, where'd you come from? Don't doubt it. Because the process is done the way the process is done.
The process was done the way the process was done.
Processing.
With an Intel Pentium 3 processor?
Process with 5 people in the room.
The process.
It's just not the way the process was done.
The process of the curse is not a science. It's above science.
That's the way the process runs.
The process. Today I'm gonna rank the top 12, 12 teams since we're getting close to the playoffs, and then we'll spin this wheel at the end of the episode to see who it tries to curse next. This week in heaven, Frank Reich. Look, I think Reich is a decent head coach. He was great in Philly with Nick Foles as an offensive coordinator, had success with Rivers in Indy, and then hit a wall with bad QBs and weird situations. That said, it is probably time for him to hang it up, which should be easy to do considering he will be making about $25,000 per day for the next 3 years from the Panthers. That kind of cheddar is heavenly. That said, I don't think Frank Reich had a clue on how to coach or call an offense for Bryce Young, which, knowing David Tepper's judgment, won't be a problem for the next head coach. In purgatory, Max Crosby's knee. Now, Crosby wasn't supposed to play Sunday against the Chiefs with a knee injury. Well, here he is talking about having to go to the hospital to get his knee drained last week so he could play.
This week was my knee had some fluid buildup. The shit was blown up like a balloon. And I wake up the next morning and I almost pass out. Like I felt like I was dying. I was literally bedridden. Like I could not move. Then I get a call that night and they're like, okay, we need to go to the hospital in the morning. We found there's bacteria in your in my fluid. So it can be dangerous.
And I actually have a photo of the bacteria they found in his knee. Oh God, yeah, that's dangerous. Oh God, you're lucky to be alive. In hell, Panthers fans. I do have shirts for you Panthers fans, and now I have shirts for you too, Jets fans. Link below. Look, as long as David Tepper is a hands-on owner, I have no faith in this team. I'm reminded of this press conference with Frank Reich.
There's different philosophies in ownership, you know what I mean? Some owners kind of stay away and don't engage a whole lot. Other owners do, and his philosophy is he's going to engage.
It's just not the way the process was done.
It's been a really good experience. It hasn't been fun.
Process with 5 people in the room.
You know, it's not fun. Those meetings aren't, I wouldn't characterize them as fun meetings.
There are 6 teams on a bye this week, but only the Ravens would have been considered for power rankings. So just remember, they won't be on today's episode because they're on a bye. Number 12, I've got the Browns. I think you're about to also enter hell, Cleveland. Don't get me wrong, your defense is still good. No, it's great, but injuries are piling up and your QB situation is not ideal. I think DTR can be serviceable, and that's a big step ahead of PJ Walker, yes, but I feel like the New York Jets are your canary, and you are deep into the NFL coal mine. And I know that because I've been there. When you start to think Joe Flacco can save your season, you've reached the point of no return. You're already fucking dead. That said, I am absolutely delighted by the idea of Tim Boyle and Nathaniel Hackett facing the Browns defense. 11, the Packers. This one is very simple for me. If Jordan Love continues to play like he did against the Lions, the Packers are a good football team. If he plays like he did in weeks 3 through 7, they are not. Now go beat the Chiefs in prime time. Number 10, the Texans. The Texans are sitting at spot 8 in the playoff race. They have the same record as the Colts and Broncos and are sandwiched right between them in the standings. Their game against the Broncos this Sunday is even more important than I initially thought because they play the Browns and the Colts after. 2 teams clinging onto playoff life support. Here's what's crazy though. All of the fringe teams have very favorable schedules moving forward. The Steelers, Browns, Colts, Texans, and Broncos. Not a single one faces a schedule difficulty higher than 20th in the league. So yes, that means chaos should ensue. The Chiefs actually have the easiest remaining schedule in the AFC, but don't you dare try and tell Chiefs fans they have any sort of advantages. Also in hilarious news, CJ Stroud is just 125 yards away from becoming the 5th leading passer in Texans franchise history. It's also a well-known fact that CJ Stroud told the Texans to draft Tank Dell after they threw together at the Combine, which does make him a way better GM than Aaron Rodgers, and also makes me believe this is how GM Nick Caserio told him about the news.
Dude, you're getting a Dell.
Little dude, you are getting a Dell.
Dude, you're getting a Dell.
Number 9, the Steelers. As soon as you left Canada, Pittsburgh, things started trending up, just like they did for Ryan Gosling, Michael J. Fox, Jim Carrey, Rachel McAdams, Justin Bieber, Celine Dion. Canada was holding you all back. Now you can star in Barbie and love yourself again. Kenny Pickett, you are Knuff. The smartest thing new offensive coordinator, who is not Matt Canada, did was get tight end Pat Freiermuth involved in the game. Prior to last week, the most targets Pat received in a game this season was 4. He had 3 games with just 1 reception this year. Pickett tossed him the ball 11 times, where he caught 9 for $120. I genuinely thought that stat was a misprint when I saw it. But no, Pat Freiermuth is just good again. Today's episode is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. It's been a while, but I'm doing another private draft on Underdog. It's a 12-person league for this week's slate of games. It's a $25 entry, and the draft will begin as soon as it fills up. Now, I may be terrible at the pick'ems, but I'm not bad at the fantasy game. So come and attempt to beat my sweet, sweet buns. The link to join is in the description. Underdog also has added scorchers to their pick'em contests. If you see the little tiny pepper next to a player's stat, that's a scorcher pick. Add those to your normal pick'em entries to boost your payouts. Your normal max is 20xing your money. Depending on how many scorchers you add, you can up to 100x your money. So sign up at Underdog with my link below and my code THATSGOOD. Number 8, the Lions. I have one piece of advice, Detroit. Stop turning the fucking ball over. I'm not mad. I'm mad and disappointed, Detroit. Number 7, Jaguars. All right, Jacksonville. Like a great married couple, I think you're coming together nicely. Edge rusher Josh Allen is 5th in the league with 60 QB pressures right now, or as Sam Howell calls it, a game's worth of pressures. His 12 sacks on the season are good for 5th best in the league, and unlike Khalil Mack, 6 of his sacks didn't come in one game against the Josh McDaniels team. I think one of the underappreciated players on that Jags defense, though, is linebacker
Foye. Can you pronounce your name for the people? Let's make sure they know it.
Foye Oluokun.
Hadouken!
Foye Oluokun, and y'all better make sure y'all pronounce it right.
I still don't know why Atlanta let him go 2 years ago. He has the 4th most tackles this season in the league and led the NFL in tackles in 2022, including the postseason, where he only played in 2 games. He's just a solid-ass linebacker, and if you watch a Jags game, I swear to God, you hear his name called every other play. Number 6, the Dolphins. Now, the curse wheel did select the Dolphins last week. Now, some of you think that's the reason Jalen Phillips tore his Achilles. Personally, I blame that shit on the turf at MetLife Stadium. Vikings fans blame the wheel for Kirk Cousins, so do what you will with your blame. Phillips, though, was really starting to find his groove on the edge for Fangio's defense. After dealing with some injuries early in the season, he had at least 1 sack in 5 straight games. Miami tried to claim Derek Barnett off waivers, but the Texans snaked them. Luckily, Bradley Chubb's playing very well, leading Miami in pressures with 42 and 8 sacks. Van Ginkel's versatile, so he will fill in on the edge as needed, and Emmanuel Ogbah should see an increased role. If Miami is looking to add a guy, though, maybe they just bring back free agent Melvin Ingram. He did have 6 sacks last season with the Dolphins and can serve as a pass rush specialist if needed. Number 5, the Chiefs. Did the Chiefs finally find the man to throw the football to in Rashee Rice? There's been some hype around Rice for a while now. He's the dude who has flashed this season, and in the first game where he got targeted 10 times, he made the Raiders fucking pay. 107 yards and a touchdown for Rice. If he simply continues to do that every week, and Mahomes showers him in targets, I think Kansas City is priming the pump for a deep playoff run. There, I said it. Number 4, the Cowboys. Don't look now, but the Cowboys offense has surpassed the Dolphins for most points per game at 31.5 for them boys. That's best in the NFL. They're 5th in turnover differential. But number 1, when you factor in that Deron Bland houses it every time he picks off a pass. One guy who has been rock solid for the Cowboys is tight end Jake Ferguson. Now I say that as a man who thought the Cowboys were stupid to let Dalton Schultz go because he was good and had great chemistry with Dak. But Fergie is holding his own with near identical stats to Schultz this year. Also, I think it's time we start talking about Dak Prescott in the MVP conversation. He has 23 touchdown passes, trailing only Josh Allen by 1, but he's played in 1 less game. Just 6 picks on the year, and his completion percentage trails only Brock Purdy. And I know I will regret saying this, but the lack of attention for a Cowboys QB and how well he's playing is surprising. Number 3, the Eagles. Jalen Hurts, like Dak, has officially entered the MVP conversation. He continues to not lose to teams with winning records, which is as good of a stat as you can have as a quarterback. And when the game is tied, or when his team is trailing, he's literally the most efficient quarterback in the NFL. Brock Purdy is the most efficient with the lead, but he's also pretty good when the game is on the line. Hey guys, hey, you like that wordplay, you little fuckers? I think we all need someone to believe in us the way Brandon Graham believes in Jalen Hurts.
We about to win this. You must don't know Jalen Hurts. You must don't know Jalen Hurts like I know him. They don't know Jalen Hurts like we know Jalen Hurts. What I tell you? What I tell you? Yeah, let them know.
Number 2, the 49ers. Good news, spots 3 and 2 will be settled Sunday afternoon when the Eagles and 49ers play. Better news, Deebo Samuel does not regret calling James Bradbury trash.
I don't regret nothing I said. Okay, you stand by it.
Better news, the 49ers are coming off 10 days rest for this game, and Philly had to go deep into OT on Sunday night to beat the Bills. Real better good news, the 49ers are healthier. They're a healthier team this time around than when these two teams met in the playoffs. The only advantage the Eagles have heading into this matchup is that it's a home game for them. But here's what's really important for this game. Birds. '49ers just deep fried the Sea Chickens. They are heading into game 2 of their Bird Gauntlet, where they actually play 5 bird teams in a row. Thank God for the internet, because without it, I'm not sure we would have noticed that this was about to happen. My question to everyone is, has any NFL team actually played all 5 bird teams in a row? Completed the 5-fecta of destroying bird teams like the avian flu and Thanksgiving combined. I mean, this Bird Gauntlet is nice, but they're only playing 4 bird teams. They just play the Seahawks twice, which sure caused a stir on my Twitter account. But maybe the Niners will play the Falcons in the playoffs, and we will get the full Bird Gauntlet. And number 1, yeah, the Broncos. What started out as a tongue-in-cheek type ranking has morphed into an undeniable truth. My power to influence the NFL win-loss record is greater than Tom Brady's ever was. Denver's defense has 15 takeaways since week 8. That's the most in the NFL. Denver gave up 10 TDs to the Dolphins in that 70 steamer. But during their current 5-game heater, they have only given up 9 total touchdowns. They're averaging 127 rushing yards in those 5 wins. And if they can keep improving on that stat alone, they will be very, very hard to beat. Denver isn't just winning. We're physically dominating our foes. So much so that Dirty Denver was trending on Twitter this week. Suck it. Your team is soft. They just can't handle playing a physical defense. All right, let's get that curse wheel, which is barely holding on. Oh my God, the tape. I need more Flex Seal tape. Oh, I spun it the wrong way. Oh no, oh no, oh no. 7 again. Who is at 7? All right, let's just be sure. Let's just be safe. I'm gonna do something I've never done before because I spun it the wrong way. Let's try to spin it again and see what happens. Be more curse-like this week. More curse-like. I'm losing faith in you. You crazy little devil. I'm losing faith in you. Oh! finally landed on 7 again. Twice. You cursed the Jags twice. Oh, I'm sorry, Jacksonville. I'm so sorry. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. Why? Why should you subscribe here?